Have you ever wanted to create your own WagerTalk dream team? Well, we are excited to announce you can build your own superstar handicapping lineup using our Pick Your Team program at WagerTalk.com. Even more exciting, until Sunday at midnight, you can save up to 40% on your favorite 2 or 3 handicappers and pay as little as $1.99 for a full month of picks. That's right, we've got Dave Koken, Marco D'Angelo, the Prez, Ralph Michaels, Teddy Covers, Hakeem Profit, Tony Finn, Rob Veno, Brian Leonard, and so many more. The combinations are absolutely endless. Who's going to make up your dream team lineup? Just go to WagerTalk.com, click Pick Your Team, and personally hand select your handicapping roster. Pick Your Team will go back to regular pricing on Monday, so make sure to take full advantage of this incredible offer.
Prez, we're live.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today. Teddy, man, I was busy, dude.
Clearly.
May 1969, the year I was born, a friend of mine found this, gave it to me. I've been busy ever since. Now I got to do this show. How are you, buddy?
I haven't seen like a hard copy of porn in a long time. You know?
I don't even know what to do with it. I was just reading the articles.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing okay, Prez. How are you today? What do we have on today's show?
Oh, my God, dude. Awesome show. Rob Veno, college football and NFL. Kenny White, tons of NFL. Ralph Michaels. But the lead story, Teddy, is you. You're so handsome, so divine. You look like a pale ghost. Do you have sun in Vegas?
Sometimes, yeah. It's my lighting.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, am I too pale?
Yeah, great show, dude. Let's welcome all the people into the group. Backdoor Cover, Frag Pod, Chance. How are you, my friend? The sports group. Hey, brother, what's going on? Jim Tepe, Chris Johnson, Brian Watson, Gordon Mathers. We really appreciate all of you guys logging on. And Teddy, before we even get into the show, I want to start this show 2 levels. One, I want to thank Joe. Joe is our producer, and I don't know if you guys have been watching the show since the beginning, but the graphics are getting better. Everything is smoother. Joe is just killing it, dude.
Agree 100%. You, on the other hand.
I'm getting worse. Ted, yeah, stop talking to me in my ear. New Year, dude, to everybody who it means something to, Happy New Year today, 5,780. You guys will know what I'm talking about. Teddy, the 6 Bs, go.
Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. What happened the last night in the sports betting world? Obviously, we have to talk about what happened in the NFL last night. If you had the Browns -6, it wasn't pretty. The end of that ball game, not even a little bit. The Bungles went 5 of 5 on 4th down last night. Joe Burrow became the first rookie in NFL history to throw 60 or more pass attempts without an interception. And yet, Cleveland was the right side. Sure felt like the right side of that game. The Browns threw the ball up and down the field. They ran the ball down Cincinnati's throat. Baker Mayfield looked good. And yet, when all was said and done, there was a right side and a wrong side in that game. The right side was the over. The wrong side was the under. But for Browns backers, -6, that was a pretty tough beat. They were the better team, despite Burrow's success. And let's talk about Joe Burrow for a minute, Prez, because the hyperbole seems very strong on this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking offline before the show began, and Teddy, I think, and look, I could be wrong here. I don't remember Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Elway, Marino. I don't remember their second start, but that had to be the greatest second start of a quarterback in history. And I was telling Vivian last night, it's his poise. Like, there was a play where he was running to his right, laterally, so he didn't cross the the throw line, if you will, the line of scrimmage, and he still found a receiver while running with 5 massive dudes behind him. His poise and his calm, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it.
So to say we've never seen, again, the hyperbole is strong on this one.
It's his
Of course we've
second
seen
game,
something.
dude.
I understand.
It's his second game.
But it's not his second game. We watched him as the starter at LSU last year. And if you watch college football last year, none of this would be a surprise to you. I know that I personally stepped in front of Burrow a couple of times last year, and that was a mistake. And but in the national championship game, I learned my lesson with this kid because Clemson's defense was no joke, and Burrow picked them apart. All right. So we know he has it, but they went 5 for 5 on 4th downs. Their defense didn't stop anyone all night. Since he wasn't the right side of that game. And Cleveland was very content to let Burrow dink and dunk in front of them, playing with the 2-score lead the whole game. So I think Burrow has the it factor, but I'm not going to hand him the, oh my God, it's the best performance I've ever seen, and he's the best quarterback of a rookie I've ever seen. No, settle down. It was about the defense he was playing and the game situation he was in. Burrow good, yes. Burrow unbelievable, no.
You just told the Prez to settle down. Have you ever known him to do that?
No.
What do you want me to do? Start meditating or something? Teddy,
Yes.
Conversely, I got a question for you, because you talk about how the Cleveland defense sat back and allowed Burrow to, dink and dunk all the way down the field. What are we supposed to think about the Cleveland offense, especially their running game? Is it how bad Cincinnati was? Is there a balance? Because that was an impressive display.
It was an impressive display. Again, it was a Thursday night game against a very young opponent who wasn't, defensively, the Bengals were not there. So what we do is we take Cleveland's week 1 terrible offensive performance at Baltimore and Cleveland's week 2 brilliant offensive performance against Cincinnati, and we say it's probably somewhere in between.
Yeah. He's Teddy Covers. I'm the Prez. You got more? You got more for us? Go. What are you waiting for? Of course,
dude. We talked about the one game. Then we have bad beat, or the question is, was it a bad beat or a bad bet? All right, and this is an interesting question. The Celtics yesterday bet up from -1.5 to -3. They led by 17. They cruised in the first half again. They had a lead late after Miami wiped out their first lead, and once again, unable to execute their offense down the stretch. Is it a bad beat? The Celtics did have the big lead. I'm not convinced it was a bad beat. I would call it more like a bad bet. Miami, much as we talked about yesterday, and we talked about on the NBA tip-off show every day, noon Pacific time, 3 on the East Coast, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. We talked about how the ability of the Heat to shut down Boston during crunch time in game 1 was something that could carry over. It sure did last night. Yeah, you can call it a bad beat. I wouldn't. Bad for the books. Nothing but Yankees money against the Blue Jays. Yanks were in every parlay last night, and once again, hitting home runs in bunches, setting MLB records for home runs in an inning. That was not a good result for the house. And here's one for you, Prez, in the NHL. There was nothing but Tampa money last night against the Islanders, another 2-1 final. -150 to -180 for the Lightning. Lightning get the money, Lightning get the win. That was not a good result for the house.
Teddy, I just want to add as well what was bad for the books. My clients. I went 3-1 last night. I had Tampa Bay as my 5% play, square as can be, but I'll take it. And I had the Miami Heat. But more importantly, to the viewers watching this show, Matt Joseph won his Kareem Hunt prop, and both hockey props that I gave out last night won. So not only was I bad for the books, so was WagerTalk Today. Let's take a break, bro. Right back with Rob Veno.
Every Monday is $9 Mondays over at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Get any best bet or daily package for only $9.
If you like how Yanni and Marco break down the games here on Bet On It, why not have them call all the plays out for you? This week, only get both Yanni and Marco's 90-day all-sport, all-access package for the lowest price of the year. Individually, this package sells for $8.49 each. But Yanni and Marco have a special Bet On It combo package. You get both guys for 90 days for just $9.99. That is less than $6 a day for each guy. This is a special for Bet On It. Only good this week. Do not miss out.
Teddy Covers, the Prez. You're watching Wager Talk Today. Robbie Veno joining us, and we got a theme song for you, Rob. Yes, we do. Teddy, you want to sing it?
God, no. I only sing during breaks, dude. You can sing on air. I'm not singing on air.
Robbie. I don't even know any more words. It's the zombie song. We were trying to get to the zombie song. Dude, welcome to Wager Talk Today. So thrilled to have you.
Glad to be here, guys. Another big weekend here in football, so we can get into it.
Before we get into it, I got to tell everybody flat out, Rob, you're on a 7-1 NBA run. Dude, your NBA season from start to finish, 60% up. This is not even a joke. 164% return on investment. Teddy, those numbers are insane.
They are insane. But what made me laugh so hard was Rob trying to get you on point to talk about games and not singing Cranberry songs from 1992. With instead of zombie, it goes Rob V. That's all he's trying to do. Oh, no,
I didn't go with Rob V. I went with Rob B. Like Robbie.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But Rob V is
Rob
better.
V for Rob Veno. But the point is this. Veno's NBA season has been nothing short of spectacular. Start to finish. I give you a ton of credit, Rob, and certainly your clients as well are very satisfied, I would hope, with your NBA season.
Yeah, so Teddy, we're talking 2 NFL games, 1 college football game with Rob Veno. Next time you're on, Rob, we're going to talk about that hair that never moves. Sure. We have before on another show, but it's just so impressive, man. It's like you wake up, you just stick it right on your head.
Yeah, I mean, when you get your hair cut the same way for 54 years, it tends to just fall into place. So that's the secret to that, Prez. Just start when you're 4 years old.
It's amazing.
Get a haircut and never change.
Yeah, Teddy, this guy's had the same haircut for 54 years. I think your wife does it, right?
No. She does not do it.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't take skill.
I go to a barber.
Okay, well, let's go, boys. Philadelphia against the Rams. This line moved all over the place. It was at +1 at one point. Now we got a -1 and a pick'em with a total of 45.5 to 46. I'm in play on this game, Rob, so why don't you break it down for us?
Well, I'll tell you which angle I'm coming from here, Prez, and I'm going to buck the line movement and look toward over in this particular instance for a couple of reasons. And mostly when I look at them, it's from fundamental perspectives. But I feel like the Eagles present different challenges than Dallas did. I mean, for Philadelphia, they kind of work through offensively through their tight ends, and then they have the outside speed now. And with Miles Sanders back in the backfield, everything comes after that. One thing opens up the other, where with the Cowboys, you know, you're worried about the 3 wideouts and, you know, crowding the line for Ezekiel Elliott. So it's a different dynamic here for the Rams defense. And what it tests, guys, is it tests the Rams linebackers, which I consider to be the weakest unit on the field for their defense. You know, last week there was a lot of talk. Well, Jalen Ramsey, and true talk, Jalen Ramsey can shut down Amari Cooper. He's done it in the past. Well, you know, Jalen Ramsey doesn't have that number 1 to go after and shut Philadelphia down this week. So it's a totally different game plan. You got Lane Johnson back. As I mentioned, you got Miles Sanders back out of the backfield. I think that Philadelphia offensively will show an awful lot more this week against the Rams than what happened last week. And again, generic talk all week long. Oh my God, Philadelphia gave up 8 sacks. Here comes Aaron Donald. It's kind of why we love national media as handicappers, because they'll push people one way to one line of thinking. Aaron Donald alone is no better than that Washington front four, which was tremendous last week. So look for the Eagles to play well offensively. And I would say the same with the Rams, guys. They were very balanced against Dallas. You've got a wide receiving core that even if Robert Woods gets taken out here by Darius Slay, the remainder of it, Cooper Kupp and company, can do some damage. Tight end Higbee. I like what the Rams bring to the table offensively. I think you're going to see an up and down game here. I'm surprised that it went from 49 all the way down to 45.5. 27-20 is very legit in this game, and that cashes your ticket. So that's the way I'm going.
Now, the injury situation certainly for Philadelphia has been on center stage over the course of the last week. You say Lane Johnson's back. They're still going to be missing a couple of linemen. They're still lacking depth at the wide receiver position. But perhaps most importantly, they've got cluster injuries on the defensive line as well. Is that part of your handicap? Do you think that the Rams are going to be able to trade points with Philly all day long because of that weakness potentially this week on the Eagles' defensive front?
Yeah, or vice versa, Teddy. Philly able to trade points with the Rams, whichever way you want to look at it. But Derek Barnett is on schedule to be back in this game as well. Of course, we'll see what happens here Friday in practice. But I do think that both of these offenses, the Rams with Jared Goff and the quick out-of-the-hands release, that quick-hitting passing game certainly can negate a Philly pass rush even if Barnett is back. So, yeah, to your point, I look at that, and I think Lane Johnson just makes a world of difference inside that Philadelphia offensive front.
He's Rob Veno. Teddy Covers with us. You're watching WagerTalk Today. Guys, hit that like button. Let's go. Rob, I love this matchup, New England versus Seattle. New England's going to try slow this game down to a crawl. They're +4. Seattle, I think they're going to go the opposite way. I think we're going to see this team play fast all year. 45 is the total. My original thoughts were to go under the total in this game, thinking that New England's only chance was to really just slow this game down, run. I'd like to get your take.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk you off of that, Prez. And as far as the side is concerned, I feel like Seattle's the better team just because they have more offensive options. But, +4 better than a field goal is pretty good when you're taking New England and that defense. Week 1 to week 2, guys, is a great situation because you get so many step up in class, step down in class type of situations. I just talked about a game where I think the fundamentals are far different in the game this week than they were for either team last week. This one's not that much different. I feel like both defenses have an advantage here. For Seattle, you don't have to contend with Atlanta's push down the field passing game. Matt Ryan, last week, 3 wide receivers for Atlanta, 9 receptions each, over 400 yards combined for 3 guys, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage. New England doesn't bring that to the table. So for Seattle, it's certainly a step down in class. And as you mentioned, Prez, offensively, they want to bring it to a crawl. Whether or not they want to run Cam Newton 15 times again this week, I'm not sure. But last week's play calling was 42 runs, 19 passes for the New England Patriots. So for them, their best bet is to rely on the ground game, rely on that defense. You've got Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry limited in practice this week. Their top 2 wide receivers, they'll play, but they're not necessarily deep threats. So Seattle will come to the line of scrimmage, I would imagine, and dare New England to go deep. On the other side of that coin, Russell Wilson's not going to find the New England defense as soft as he found Atlanta's. 31 of 35 is remarkable for him, but I don't think you'll see those numbers out of him again this week. I don't think you'll see the running game be as successful this week. So I look to both defenses to be the best on the field. A couple of exterior things real quick here, guys. I wonder to myself how much Jamal Adams figures into knowing this New England game plan or formations, whatnot. I know Brian Flores, an ex-New England assistant coach, had New England last week, and they held him to 21 points. But Adams has played this team 6 times, and even though it's Cam instead of Brady, the playbook doesn't necessarily change. It gets added to, but it doesn't change. And Jamal Adams may be able to recognize an awful lot defensively for this team when New England breaks the huddle. New England wants to chew clock. Atlanta didn't. So that's why I said, Prez, in the beginning, I wouldn't talk you off of under in this particular matchup.
So Belichick has an incredible track record as an underdog. I got him at 80% long term. It's not like we see the Patriots as underdogs very often, but if there's one underdog coach who's been bet on in the NFL, it's Bill Belichick. Obviously, he's catching more than a field goal here. And yet at the same time, I even think about the Super Bowl contending Patriots teams, which this doesn't look like. And many of those teams started out 2-2, bad early season road loss, 2-2, bad early season road loss. So Belichick's MO, you don't necessarily trust him in September, but you always want him catching points. Which of the two holds sway here? And how much of last week was Miami good versus New England mediocre? Or was it the Dolphins and Patriots were both a little bit, spotty in week one?
Yeah, I think week one, Teddy, just like in college football, because of the different situation, maybe we could see teams not step into gear right away. But in that particular game, I do think there's a lot of knowledge between Miami and New England. It's a divisional matchup. We saw pretty good defense on both sides. Of course, again, New England's, willingness to be content offensively and, limit possessions during a game and lean on defense and ground game, that has a lot to do with the 21-11 result. Your question about Belichick, good dog, team, sometimes bad Septembers, that's a great question. I don't know which way I would lean there. I just, it's over a field goal, which makes you want to take New England. But I just look at the opportunities that Seattle has offensively that New England doesn't. DK Metcalf can get deep and make a big play. Tyler Lockett can get deep and make a big play. Russell Wilson can escape the pocket and make a big play. And to me, New England has none of that. So that kind of makes me caution playing either side. But I just think that this total probably stays under.
Awesome stuff, guys. Rob, college football game, UCF -7.5 versus Georgia Tech, a total of 62 here. And I know a lot of guys, including myself, are in play on this game. Where are you going?
Well, I think the initial thought for anybody would be, after what they saw out of Georgia Tech, let's take Georgia Tech plus the points against a team that hasn't hit the field yet. And in college football, that's been a fairly successful way to go so far. I might look at it a little differently, not where point spread is concerned, but where total is concerned, because I think UCF can hit the ground running offensively. Dylan Gabriel and that list of skill position guys, McCray and company, that are back this year. I think they'll put up their share of points. No question. What Central Florida brings to the table, as opposed to what James Blackman and Florida State brought to the table, learning a new offense, I think is night and day. The fact that UCF hasn't hit the field yet, but the fact that their offense is so cohesive anyway. And Gabriel spent 3 months, guys, just understanding the offense. Coaches have raved about his improvement and seeing windows and stuff. So they'll be fine. I think Georgia Tech, too. Remember, this is a freshman quarterback last week. Took some by surprise that Jeff Sims got the nod, but he throws for 277, and he runs for 64 more yards as a true freshman against a Florida State defense that is better than Central Florida. So to me, you've got huge advantages on both sides of the field where offense is concerned. I don't see one stopping the other. To me, for a Central Florida game, 61.5, 62.5, I think it is now, just seems low. 31 aside is, very, very doable in any UCF game. So 34-31 gets you the money, and that's the way I would lean with this game.
So you're looking at, and certainly UCF last year, 3 losses, all on the road, all in competitive games. They're laying more than a touchdown here, Rob. Is this line inflated, or is this line deflated because Georgia Tech pulled off the upset last week?
Wow, Teddy, great question, because my power ratings, let's use power ratings, because I know you're a power ratings guy. My power ratings showed UCF to be even bigger than this as a favorite. Okay, so maybe to me,
mine did too.
there's some value in there. But again, power ratings only consider raw personnel. In my case, they don't consider the situation, which is first game against a team with a game under its belt, and a team in the second year of a system that's learned it now, and a team that just lit up a very good defense for 438 yards. So while I raised Georgia Tech in my power ratings, they still come up as bigger than a 7-point dog to Central Florida. I wouldn't make a play just on that power rating number alone. But I think Central Florida has the ability to cover the number. And I also think Georgia Tech has the ability to cover this number. I think Jeff Sims is something that UCF is going to have to really deal with. Dual threat quarterback and this spread offense. It's a far cry from what Georgia Tech was as an option team.
Awesome stuff, Rob. Can't thank you enough for joining us, brother. Keep up the outstanding work. You've started the football season great. Your NBA's awesome. You're an incredible analyst. You guys can see Rob on the NBA show, 3 p.m. Eastern with Teddy. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me. You're must-watch TV nowadays.
Yeah, that's what they say in my house. Mm-hmm. Rob, get out of here. We'll take a quick break. Teddy and I right back.
Have you ever wanted to create your own WagerTalk Dream Team? Well, we are excited to announce you can build your own superstar handicapping lineup using our Pick Your Team program at WagerTalk.com. Even more exciting, until Sunday at midnight, you can save up to 40% on your favorite 2 or 3 handicappers and pay as little as $1.99 for a full month of picks. That's right, we've got Dave Koken, Marco D'Angelo, The Prez, Ralph Michaels, Teddy Covers, Hakeem Prophet, Tony Finn, Rob Veno, Brian Leonard, and so many more. The combinations are absolutely endless. Who's going to make up your dream team lineup? Just go to WagerTalk.com, click Pick Your Team, and personally hand select your handicapping roster. Pick Your Team will go back to regular pricing on Monday, so make sure to take full advantage of this incredible offer.
First-time customers at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com receive $25 in WagerBucks after your first initial purchase. All you have to do is sign up, make your purchase, and you'll get $25 in credit.
We are back, guys. Hit that like button. We need it. We want it. And Teddy, I feel like we've... You don't want to agree? That was like a...
I didn't hear what you said, so my audio cut out there for a second. So I'll just generally agree with you.
Okay, he agrees with me, everybody. Teddy, before we get into your big game breakdown, I want to throw a thought at you. It's something I've been thinking about. You know, Cam Newton's a running quarterback. I think he's at his best when he's a running quarterback. And the Patriots have him wrapped up for 1 year. I don't think they care about his second year or his third year following this year. Do you think that is taken into account to some degree? I think they're going to run the shit out of this guy.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
It's an interesting thought, though, right? We've never really seen a situation like that. So Rob's saying, are they going to run him 15 times? They don't care how injured he gets or tired he gets. They got him for 1 year, and they are going to ride his legs.
Yeah, but they want him fresh in December and January.
Yeah, no, that's true.
1 year, they want to win something 1 year.
But I think you're going to see more running from Cam than I've ever had. Dude, it's time for your big game breakdown. Denver Lakers, NBA tonight. Exciting. I love this matchup, Teddy. I think we're going to get great basketball. We got a -7 for the Lakers. Again, Denver being just not represented well on the book side of things. And 210 is the total. Take it apart, bro.
Sure. And Rob Veno said something that was really astute in the previous segment, when he was talking about how sometimes the mainstream media narrative isn't what actually happened. And I see that very much with the Denver Nuggets right now. All the mainstream media narrative is, The Clippers stunk. The Clippers blew it. Look at those Clippers. It's all about the Clippers. And nothing is about, hey, Denver's playing really good basketball. Wow, Denver's deep. Wow, Denver's playing defensively better than they did all season. Wow, Denver has superstars. And wow, Jokic is the best center in basketball. Wow, Jamal Murray can make plays. Wow, the role players step up. Wow, Gary Harris really is a defensive stopper. There's a lot of wows for Denver. And right now, it's still all being looked as Clippers failed, Clippers collapsed. Look at Doc Rivers. Let's blame Kawhi Leonard. Let's blame Paul George. Denver had a lot to do with that. And as we've seen now, since the back-to-back blowout losses, they suffered 2 bad losses to Utah in games 2 and 3 of that series. Since that time, they've been in every game, with the exception of the one game won in their last series where they were completely out of gas following that brutal 7-game series with Utah. This time they've had a little bit extra more, an extra day of rest in between series. And once again, they're facing a team that has already been anointed as the elite team in the West. I wouldn't be surprised. It's certainly worth noting the Lakers have lost the previous 2 game ones. I would be surprised if tonight's game is a little bit more competitive than the betting markets might think.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that as well. It's amazing to me that Denver is getting absolutely no respect. Teddy, I'm going to throw a couple of quick questions at you, a real quick answer, and then we'll bring Kenny. We'll go to a break, bring Kenny White in. Hurricanes, Miami. Any quick thoughts on that game? One of our listeners wants to know.
I think they'll win the game straight up. You can get a full write-up on that game with analysis right now at Sports Memo and WagerTalk.com. That is my free play for Saturday.
Anything jump out at you in baseball tonight?
No.
Well, I want to know why Joe is laughing in my ear. Was that a dumb question?
Because we have Kenny White on hold, and you're asking random questions about baseball.
We ask questions that the viewers ask in the chat room. I know you don't pay attention to the chat room, but I do. Guys, let's take a quick break. We'll bring Kenny White right on.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Kenny White with us. Teddy, we love this guy. Kenny, did you get that call from Rick Alec yet?
Not yet. No, he has not. I think he lost my number. So, hey,
Jesus,
great times. Thanks for having me on. Got to tell you, went to Denver this past weekend. I flew in an airplane last night. We went out with some friends to watch the Thursday night game. Stayed out a little longer than we should have, but it was a good time being out, but we were outside, being safe, but it was fun. Great game too. Excited about NFL. I don't know why. I've hit my last 4 correlated parlays.
Kenny, we're gonna talk a bit NFL later. I know you sent in a couple of games you want to talk about. North Carolina games canceled, so I think you're right. The dog will cover. Pittsburgh, Syracuse. What do you think?
I'm just getting up to speed then. I told you I was out last night. Why would they cancel that North Carolina game? Oh, I guess it was North Carolina. Too much COVID.
Yeah.
Too much COVID.
Yeah.
That was going to be a good game. I really like that Charlotte team. Well coached. Where are we going? What game we going to, Teddy?
Pittsburgh, Syracuse.
Hey, this, when I rated every team out in May, I was really loving this Pittsburgh defense, 4th best in the country, and now we shaved them down to 77 teams. I re-ranked them. They're still 4th best defensive team in the country. They didn't even get to move up, but they are that talented. They're a top 5 defense. They are going to just shut down Syracuse. Syracuse looked poorly on the offensive end against the North Carolina team, who I had ranked 23rd, within points of moving up, and I did upgrade their defense. I have North Carolina the 16th best defense in the country right now out of the 77 teams. But now Syracuse goes up against number 4 Pittsburgh. This Pittsburgh defense returns 14 players that have 7 starts or more. They return 90% of their tackles. This is an excellent defense, and I don't know what's going on with Tommy DeVito. This guy's an Elite 11 quarterback in his class with Tua Tagovailoa, several other NFL quarterbacks in that class. And DeVito was amazing stepping in for Eric Dungey in relief a couple games his freshman year. As a sophomore, won a couple games, and then all of a sudden he gets a starting job. Could not get it done last year and did not look good in week 1. He looked really, really scared of North Carolina's defense. So this week I'm going to go under the total of 50. I think Syracuse struggles to score. Pittsburgh will love to grind it out. Don't worry about if the first half comes, 24-7 or something like that. Second half, maybe even a better under, because Pittsburgh will grind it out on the ground. And I don't think Syracuse scores more than 10 in this game.
One of the things I love about being a sports bettor as opposed to being a politician is we're allowed to flip-flop. And frankly, when the situation merits it, we're supposed to flip-flop. Now, last week you came on here and talked about DeVito as being a quarterback with upside, and I didn't want to call you out. But I watched him last year and I wasn't impressed. And I watched him in week 1 and he was lost. He was absolutely lost in that game. Have you flipped on him, or was your opinion a little bit, how's your opinion changed on Syracuse's QB?
Yeah, Teddy, I'm glad we brought it up. Glad you even you remembered that, because I'm always in adjustment mode. I'm always making adjustments. I'm always watching games and adjusting power ratings, because you can't be right. The more you adjust, the better you adjust, the more you're going to be right. So, I thought this would be the year. I mean, I had this kid highly rated last year. I mentioned he's an Elite 11 quarterback out of high school. He had amazing numbers filling in for Eric Dungey. He looked like he was going to be the real deal. He's an NFL quarterback. But you know what? The stats don't bear it out last year. And then I thought, well, I'm going to give him another chance. That type of pedigree, you got to figure maybe he just needed that year under his belt. But boy, he looked scared last week. Didn't like it whatsoever. So, I had to drop his rating a couple points. It was, just like first week of the year, watching Miami of Florida. Derek King had a tremendous year 2 years ago, but last year in 4 games really struggled. I should have given his rating from 2 years ago. I didn't, but after watching him, I upgraded him 3 points. And the Alabama-Birmingham quarterback, I ended up dropping 1.5 points. So you're always adjusting. If you want to win, you have to adjust your power ratings every game. You don't want to be knee-jerk about it, but you have to make the right adjustments. And when you do, you get the winners at the end.
Yeah, and guys, we talk a lot about the power ratings. It's so crucial for betting. All of the top bettors are doing it. Dave Koken talks about his all the time, and they have to be adjusted every single week. They're getting tweaked a little bit. Kenny, let's get to the next college football game. Troy -3, a total of 64.5. Where should we go in this one?
Yeah, it should be a fun one to watch. And this is a game under the belt. Middle Tennessee has a game under their belt, but it wasn't a good one. It was against Army, and they were completely shut down by the Army team. And this Middle Tennessee State team is offense. Rick Stockstill always been about offense. He returns his quarterback, 88% rushing, 75% receiving, just 51% of the defense. So I expect very high-scoring games out of this team. They love to throw the ball. Their quarterback's a dual-threat guy. Asher O'Hare, 2,600 passing yards last year, over 1,000 rushing. And on the other side, Troy comes in. Chip Lindsey is their head coach, 1 year. Last year was his first year. Completely turned the program around from a power run game program to a spread, throw the football. He's a Gus Malzahn disciple, very innovative. He calls the plays. He gambles on 4th down. He doesn't want to kick field goals. He wants to punch touchdowns in. I think it's going to be a very exciting game to watch. Now, they brought in the number 1 junior college quarterback in the country, Parker McNeil. McNeil, 6'5", 237, has a cannon for a right arm. But for some reason, I'm pulling all these depth charts to make sure I know who's playing because of COVID mainly this year. And McNeil was 4th on the depth chart. I was shaking my head. How could the number 1 junior college quarterback last year be 4th on the depth chart? So they do have a guy that played a little bit last year in Gunnar Watson. They say he's going to be the starter. He's got good touch, strong arm, big kid, 6'3", 205. So I think they'll be fine with him. They return 88% of their rushing and 99% of their receiving. All the skill players are back for Troy. Both teams like to play fast. It's going to be up-tempo and a lot of points. Be fun to watch.
We're talking, of course, with Kenny White from Kenny White Sports at KWhiteyVegas on Twitter. And Kenny, first of all, we're seeing all these smaller conference teams that we're only used to seeing on ESPN on Tuesday in November. We're seeing them Saturday afternoon, 1:00 game on ESPN2 right here. Do you think the additional exposure is going to help or hurt either one of these teams? Are they ready to play under the bright lights?
Yeah, Teddy, more and more in college football, it just seems like these kids are getting so much experience at the high school level. We're seeing more freshmen starting than ever in high school, and that ends up trickling to the colleges when there's more freshmen starting in college football these days because of the how much time they put into their sport now. These sports are played year-round. They're specialized. If you're a football player, that's all you play. You used to play basketball, maybe baseball, so you played 3 sports. Maybe you weren't quite as ready, but all these guys now and the big-time programs are all traveling around the country because of ESPN, and they're playing the best competition. They're not just sitting in their little town and playing the weak teams and beating up on them. All the top 25 teams in high school football play each other every year. I think that's making the players that much better and that ready to go to college football. So these mid-tier teams like a Troy in Middle Tennessee, they're ready for the lights on ESPN, and there's no fans in the stands, so there's no pressure that way for them, and they forget about that anyway. Most of these college players have all said, kind of seems strange with no fans, but once the game gets going, it's football, and I think the same thing can be said for these big primetime games. They just start playing. They kind of forget they're on primetime. They just play the game.
Okay, boys. So I just invented a new segment. We're going to call it, like in hockey, the last minute of play. I'm just going to literally throw games at you that have been talked about in the chat room. No analysis required. Simply pick the team. Kenny, I'll go to you first. The Coastal Carolina game.
Coastal Carolina tonight. Campbell had some players out last week. So did Georgia Southern. I think this could be a rout. Coastal Carolina runs the football extremely well, could run up 300 rushing yards. Coastal, sorry for the analysis.
Hey, the Washington soccer team. The Washington soccer team playing Arizona. Who's going to cover?
Washington.
Arizona.
Okay. Okay, well, that was very helpful. Guys, Teddy, we'll go to you first. The Pittsburgh Steelers. What are you going to do in this one?
Under. The market's already there, but that's an under game. Roethlisberger said he got hit by a truck. He felt like he got hit by a truck, and the Broncos aren't scoring against that defense.
Agree.
Kenny,
under.
Minnesota,
both
Indianapolis. Sorry, go ahead, Kenny.
I'm agreement with Teddy. Under in Pittsburgh, Denver.
Minnesota, Indianapolis, Kenny.
I'm in Indianapolis. Minnesota, too many injuries.
Teddy?
I'm in action on that game. You can get it right now at SportsMemo or WagerTalk.com.
And what a perfect way to end the segment. Kenny White, you are the best. We can't thank you enough for joining us, man. Best of luck this weekend and be well.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, best of luck to everyone there at Wager Talk.
Guys, quick break. Ralph Michaels up next.
Football is here, and the Gold Sheet, the nation's oldest sports betting newsletter, is back for its 63rd year, bigger and better than ever. Gold Sheet has a new, improved web-based, mobile-friendly format that includes all of the winning information you rely on with the easiest access ever. While the format is new, all of the features you're accustomed to are still there. That's right, analysis on every pro and college game, key release selections, updated power ratings on every team, point spread logs for all NFL and college teams, and all college football games through May 2021 will be included. To celebrate joining the Wager Talk family, we are offering our subscribers our best deal ever. Sign up for a season of any Gold Sheet product and get $200 in wager bucks as a bonus. Wager bucks can be used to purchase handicapping information from any of our 40+ experts on WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com. Head to goldsheet.com/WagerTalk for any subscription and bonus details.
Every Monday is $9 Mondays over at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Get any best bet or daily package for only $9.
Teddy, come watching Wager Talk today. Ralph Michaels always ends the show. I love this man. I see the pen. What was that, Ralph? That wasn't a pen. I'm confused.
Here's the story. Shout out to Richard K. He's the third person to send me pens. So instead of doing the pen move, I'm going to try the $100 move to see if people want to Venmo me $100 bills. So I've switched.
That's genius. That's genius, Ralph. Welcome to the show, brother. Thanks, like always, for joining us. Give out that promo and take it away. I'm going to read my Playboy.
Guys, the promo's simple. No coupon needed. If you are going to buy a 7-day all-access package or a 30-day all-access package, do not go to the Cappers homepage. On the front of Wager Talk, go to pick your team. If you buy a 7-day package, the second 7-day package, just $80. The third package, just an additional $38. If you're going to buy a 30-day all-access package, the second package, $169. The third package, just $79 for a 30-day all-access. So right at the front, WagerTalk.com, pick your team on the top header, and take advantage of great handicappers. Make your own all-star lineup.
Ralph, I got to jump in quick. 250 guys watching and only 57 likes. Guys, come on, man. I don't care if you smash the button, header the button, bang the button, put your balls on the button. I don't care what you do. It's your own button on your own keypad, but hit the damn thing. Okay, I'm done. Back to my Playboy.
Please.
Guys, we've got a bunch of systems today. So we're going in depth on Friday. NFL week 2 away favorites off a win in week 1. That's it. Teddy, I want to come to you after I read this to get your thoughts on it. All you got to do is if you win week 1 and you're an away favorite in week 2, since 2010, you have only covered 30% of the time, 10 and 23 ATS. The problem is this. Those away favorites that won week 1, Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City, who I really don't want to step in front of any 3 of them. Your thoughts on that with the teams that are in those situations, Teddy?
I'm with you 100%. In terms of those 3 teams, I've all got them ranked among my top 5 in the NFL. And I have a rule, an absolute rule for September, is that I do not bet against a top 5 team in September. I'm not convinced the markets have caught up with them. So it's certainly an angle worth considering. And 30% ATS since 2010 is a decent sample size. But am I going to fade the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs this week? Despite the sample size, I am not.
With you 100%. Situational play of the day, guys. I'm going to New England. I'm going to grab the 4 points. How many times since 2015 have the Patriots been a dog in the regular season? 1 time. The 2016 season when Brady got hurt, Jimmy G was a 9-point dog at Arizona. They won that game outright, and from then on, they were a favorite the rest of the way. So you're getting a Belichick team with the number 1 defense last year getting over a field goal. Oh, yeah, by the way, teams are now 67 and 28 against the spread. That's 70.5% on the road, off a home game, if their opponent allowed over 400 yards. Now, that is not a week 2 angle. That is a system that you can write down and use for future. So the Patriots were at home last week. They're on the road this week. And Seattle gave up over 400 yards to the Atlanta Falcons. Teams in that situation, 70.5%. And also, week number 2 dogs of 1 point or more that rushed for 170 yards in week 1 are 20 and 9 ATS, 69%. You put those all together, situational play of the day, New England +4, a game that very well may be on my card for Sunday.
And
finally,
one more.
Go ahead, Teddy.
I was just going to say real quick, Ralph, one more that goes with that. Belichick is a dog. I got him as 12 and 3 ATS. Last 15 tries, he's not a dog very often. So one more angle that plays towards the Patriots.
And again, we're talking going back to 2012 in that role because they haven't been a dog very often recently, only that one time in 5 regular seasons. And the Wager Talk did Hey, Prez, I want to ask you this.
I'm reading.
When a team like Jacksonville pulls the upset as a dog of 6 or more, and then they're a dog of 6 or more again the next week, do they cover 70+% of the time or 23% of the time?
We need music. I need music. The second one.
23%. So
I was right.
Miraculous things do not happen when a team pulls an upset as an underdog, like Jacksonville. Since 2010, when a team pulled an upset as a dog of 6 or more, they are only 3-49 straight up. So don't bet them on the money line. And they are 12-39 ATS, 23%. Now, I'm going to take this one step further, and Teddy, I want to come to you. When I have a system that I like, this Jacksonville system, you're a dog of 6 or more, and you're a dog of 6 or more, makes total sense that you're 23%. But when you look at the next step in the system, when it also makes sense, to me, it's a stronger system. It's not an anomaly that you're pulling out some random numbers in between a stretch of numbers. So I went back and looked. If a team was a dog of 5 or more one week and pulled the upset, and then they're a dog of 5 or more, you've only covered 30.1%. So when you take the next step down by subsets, and each one is just a little worse of an ATS number, to me, that's the perfect system that makes perfect sense with the ladder approach that the higher you go, the better or worse, whichever category you're looking at, the ATS number goes.
So here's my question, because that's when you're talking about a significant sample size, we got 52 games, with teams were a dog of 6 or more, and then a dog of 6 or more again the next week, and they won the first one outright. So it's not a small sample size. And when that's cashing at a 23% clip, to me, that's significant. However, if there's one caveat that I'm going to put with that, I would think that early in the season, when teams may not be power rated where they should be, I would think that record would be a little bit better than 23% ATS. All that said, it still points pretty strongly towards Tennessee.
Someone on Twitter, I tweeted out something similar to that, and I'll give credit to someone on Twitter saying, yeah, but none of those teams were, week 2. So your point taken there that perhaps the power rating numbers are not quite adjusted, but clearly, it's something that's going to make me think, if I'm on that Jacksonville side, let's be honest, if anyone has a chip on their shoulder, it's the Jacksonville Jags, because after who they traded, after the salaries they jettisoned, who didn't think they were going to be 0-16? What was the odds on 0-16? 4-1? I mean, that's an incredible odd to have at the beginning of the season. So, perhaps those Jacksonville players that are left there thinking, hey, it's us against the world this week, and we'll see what happens. And I know there's a lot of talk of people saying, Tennessee is off Denver on a short week. I can tell you this, and we'll bring it up next week. Teams that played Denver on the road the week before are actually a positive ATS number. So it's one of those fallacies, that bar talk where you say, oh my God, that altitude's going to crush them. They were at Denver last week. They're going to be a negative ATS play. That is false. They are actually over 50% ATS having played Denver the previous week.
Ralph, you are a stats god, bro. What you are to stats, Playboy was to people in 1969. I can't thank you enough for joining us. What a great show. Big thanks to Kenny White and Rob Veno. Teddy Covers, as always, will take us home.
Yeah, so thanks for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with Prez and I, and Rob Veno, and Ralph Michaels, and Kenny White. We appreciate your time. We thank you for it. And we'll be back on Monday, right here on Wager Talk Today. Recap the NFL weekend, recap the college football weekend, look ahead to Monday Night Football. You know it. It's destination viewing right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Enjoy the games. Good luck. We'll see you on Monday.
Have you ever wanted to create your own WagerTalk Dream Team? Well, we are excited to announce you can build your own superstar handicapping lineup using our Pick Your Team program at WagerTalk.com. Even more exciting, until Sunday at midnight, you can save up to 40% on your favorite 2 or 3 handicappers and pay as little as $1.99 for a full month of picks. That's right, we've got Dave Koken, Marco D'Angelo, the Prez, Ralph Michaels, Teddy Covers, Hakeem Prophet, Tony Finn, Rob Veno, Brian Leonard, and so many more. The combinations are absolutely endless. Who's going to make up your dream team lineup? Just go to WagerTalk.com, click Pick Your Team, and personally hand select your handicapping roster. Pick Your Team will go back to regular pricing on Monday, so make sure to take full advantage of this incredible offer.